quite unfortunate for y'all dumbasses. I backed my shit up. Dual County Attorney Joel J. Who is the Dual County Attorney? Another rubber stamp. Do you know what a rubber stamp is? A rubber stamp means that it's somebody who's just going to sign it over without reading it. When it's a homeless person, judges that do that, public pretenders that do that, pretty much will deny you your rights and fucking lie to you just so they don't have to do their jobs. Well, with me, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to not do your jobs. So maybe you should rethink your life. Maybe you should rethink stepping the fuck up on Jew. That's what you guys want to treat me like. But you ain't gonna outright scream that, are you? Well, a few of you have, haven't you? Haven't you? Now, of course, the youth here in Tillamookkk just graduated from being racist fucktards to holding their first Klan meeting. Their first Klan rally. And you can be damn sure that there was organization involved. They even had a bullhorn. Wanted to call me the N-word. 3 girls yelled it in rapid succession. One of them you can barely hear in the video. But 3 definitely different women's screaming the N-word directly at me. And of course, you know me, I was going to get sarcastic about it. Oh, they ain't saying that to me. What was going through my head at that particular moment? Man, you know, speak of the fucking devil. I was just saying how nice it was that they weren't doing them things on that particular night. And they pulled out a goddamn bullhorn. Ugh. Yeah, you call him the N-word now, ain't you? Oh, yeah. You know what they called me in Chappell, Nebraska? N-word lover. But they didn't say N-word. Woo! What did I say in Chappell, Nebraska when people wanted to use the N-word? I said I don't like that word. I always thought to myself, you know, I ought to get one of my black friends and come down here and after he stomps a new fucking mud hole in your ass, he can yell at you, who the N-word now? Now, would I actually do such a thing? No. I'd rather get a whole bus full of black people. Get them to Chappell, Nebraska, we'll have a fucking barbecue and them goddamn crackers can fucking suck it up. You have no idea how hard I stuck up for Dakota Richmond. Everybody knew he was gay but Todd Rust, a Christian, who wanted to always talk about, well, same thing as these fucking rednecks. Except these ain't real rednecks. Now the county attorney before Joel J., who was that? Douglas Pollock. He lived in Colorado, but his job was in Nebraska as the dual county attorney. Now the dual county attorney's name is, I believe, Starkey. I've been through it before. Sheriff's Department breaks the law. You're sent on a magic fucking goose chase of Nebraska State Patrol, Nebraska Attorney General's office, DA's office, mayor's office. I got to get permission in triplicate from a whole bunch of people in order to turn in a crime immediately when it's a crime committed by a cop. They will literally send me to the exact cops I'm trying to turn in by name. Are you out of your fucking mind? And how did those cops retaliate against me? By falsely arresting me, threatening me, harassing me, intimidating me, or taking me to a hospital and lying to the hospital. I was never diagnosed with the shit that they were trying to diagnose me with at hospitals. I couldn't possibly have been. Now, the inappropriate actions committed by these Klan members. Your kids fucked up their own goddamn rally. Do they get a merit badge for this? Do they? I don't know. I was never in the Klan. I was never a Klan kid in Tillamookkk. I didn't learn how to hate blindly. I grew up in the system getting my ass whooped for the color of my skin. Fuck racism. Regardless of what goddamn color you are. But classism is worse. Classism is far worse. This is why most of these black people are getting shot by the police. Because they're fucking broke. The cops see you as a black person, they know it's easy to victimize you, just like with a homeless person. Except it's a lot easier to do to a homeless person. BLM gives a fuck. And a lot of white people give a fuck if you do this to a black man in a house. How many people did Officer Waylon Lolatai assault on camera just in 2018? The first one was me in early January. When I was trying to catch a killer or die trying. Because wasn't a goddamn person listening. They were wanting to bully me into doing what they wanted right then at that moment. They planned it out for me to do things that I had already stated I was not able to do. That includes Lana Engeline, Amanda Engeline, Kara Johnson Miles, a character calling himself Donkey, Evan Rabbits. Now in that group, Amanda Engeline was the one of only two people in that group, her and her mom, who knew that I was going to Rapid City, South Dakota to see Jamie and the boy first. It was already arranged. But she had to fuck it up and fuck up their safety and my safety. You know how I found out that she had typed that? People were letting me know that I was going to Rapid City, South Dakota. Now, I got screenshots of that group. I also have screenshots of those people deleting their messages before exiting the group and pretending that they don't exist and it never happened. You know why that happened? Because cops didn't want to do their jobs immediately. They wanted to send me around in circles to mental health, just like they did in Virginia, just like they did in Nebraska, just like they did in Colorado. It's always around in circles, Mental health, mental health, mental health. When they don't want to do their jobs, mental health. When you try to turn in a bad cop, they try to push you to rubber stamps. In a small town, that's easy to do. You think that's the first time I ever stood up to a bunch of fucking loudmouth, fucking homophobic little shitwads? You goddamn right I still stick up for gay people. I used to have a lot of gay friends until they decided that I didn't matter because I wasn't gay. But you know what? I still love those people. Regardless of their sins, I still love them. All they have to do to be a part of my life is fucking repent. That means profess by mouth your sins. Instead of trying to hide them and hate me and villainize me and harm me and slander me for telling the truth. Chappell, Nebraska is a goddamn Klan town. Same as Tillamookkk. Y'all want to talk at me like I'm full of shit. You're out of your goddamn minds. Scott DeCosta, the sheriff of Dual County, who committed felony after felony, including lying to medical professionals, lying to state workers, lying in court, perjury, giving false statements, knowingly, willingly, and intelligently omitting evidence that showed that I was the victim, that I did everything that I could to try to turn in Scott DeCosta, and that I was only forced to go to him because nobody would do their jobs. Same as here. I know how it fucking works, dummy. State Patrol says it's not their job over and over and over again. Boom, case closed, no problem. They say it's not their job, it's not their job, it's not their job. Well, Scott DeCosta tells me it is. While dispatch tells me it is. While Leslie Snell tells me it is. It is a conflict of interest for Leslie Snell or Scott DeCosta to come anywhere near me with any of their fucking deputies, with any of their fucking Klan goons. After threatening my fucking life, after helping pedophiles and rapists get away. Leslie Snell's family took part in threatening my life in 2018, you pieces of shit. She'd sign her name on anything that she could use to hurt me. Then when she got caught bullying me and lying to me and bullshitting me, Dual County Sheriff Scott DeCosta himself admitted on camera that Leslie Snell was pissed off that she was recorded. She had motive and intent and abused her position of power that she was given after her family threatened to kill me, including her own husband. Who did I get my first arrows from? When I first started archery in Chappell, Nebraska, I got them from Clint Snell, Leslie Snell's husband. You get to see how these Klan son of a bitches pulled their bullshit. You get to see how they played their games. And how fucking stupid they were when they tried to pull it the first time. Fucking rookies. Just like these goddamn good fellers here in Tillamookkk. You're out of your fucking minds. Fucking Piggly Wiggly slander my name to the news. Willingly and intelligently putting my life and my friends' and family lives at risk, and when I try to turn that in, I am victimized further. You are out of your goddamn minds, thinking you can bully me into moving, you fucking cowards. You don't want to be recorded? I don't give a holy goddamn, motherfuckers. I don't give a holy fuck. This ain't the first time I stuck up for black people. It ain't the first time I stuck up for homosexuals. It ain't the first time, and it won't be the last unless you motherfuckers want to really shut me up and come put me in the ground. But you ain't got the balls, bitch. Oh, we got another one of these racist Klan fuckers down here with racist names, thinking they fucking funny, calling me Lenny. Who is this? Well, I'll tell you. It is very likely another profile by James, the asshole who decided he was going to stalk me from Hood River. Stalked me through Hood River, left the day that I did, stopped at all the rest stops that I did, and followed me to at least 3 other rest stops after that. Once I got into range that I could start actually making videos again. Then he followed me to multiple locations. At Fred Meyer's, in the Starbucks. Over and over again. Here, to the parking lot at Tillamookkk Sporting Goods, where the Tillamookkk Klan kids had their first rally. Congratulations. Did they get a merit badge for playing Chappell, Nebraska? Douglas Pollock was part of the KKK. Who had that office before Joel J? How did they keep their rubber stamp in Dual County? When he beat the fuck out of his wife and locked her in a closet for 3 fucking days, he got probation and got to stay the county attorney in Dual County. He didn't even get a slap on the fucking wrist for that. You want me to stop recording. Stop making me. Every one of these youngins who wanted to hold this rally bullshit out here and call me names, call me the N-word in Chappell, Nebraska, at least they put the word lover at the end of it. N-word lover. Ooh. Same country. Meanwhile, who's most likely to kill you in the United States if you're a child? 31% of the time it's your mother. 31% of the time it's your father. That's only for violent deaths. You put those together, 62% of the times, if you were a child and you were violently murdered, it was one of your parents. Mothers are 5 times more likely to beat their kids than fathers. There's also a lot of deaths that are considered non-violent. When it comes to filicide, that's when you kill your own child. Women commit 59% of all filicide. Sorry, mothers commit 59% of all filicide. That's nearly 2 out of 3. %80 of the time when you are molested, it is by one of your parents. 80% of the time. Try putting that in perspective. Then we're in a rural area, which means that incest is 70% higher than it is anywhere else. 70% higher. Then there's the subsidies paid to these redneck fucking farmers who want to bitch about people getting free shit. Well, they inherited the fucking land and get free money from the government. Free government subsidies. Oftentimes for not growing anything. Committing fraud like Sandy Fromm did. She did that with her cattle and with her wheat. Chappell, Nebraska. She also went out there after a lot of the cows were born and grabbed them up so she could take them to sale before her brother realized that they had been born. Had to feed her alcoholism somehow. Oh, she was pissed when I courted her too. About the situation with Chris Kurth. That's one of Leslie Snell and Clint Snell and Carl Snell's friends. Cody Kurth is finally one to put a stop to that. It was the Dual County Sheriff's Department was too busy playing stupid, rewording everything that I was saying, going out of their way not to understand. They were just bored and pissed off that I still hadn't given up. And I still haven't given up. Lie as much as you fucking want to me. Go ahead, I'll fucking record it. The whole world can fucking hear it. Officer Reeves wants to assault a 14-year-old girl in the Safeway parking lot. In uniform, out of jurisdiction. Turns out it's his own niece that makes it domestic assault. She was trying to turn in her stepfather. And she had 2 friends there that were very loud and clear about that fact, who verified it outright. But they weren't interested in that. They had already decided that they were going to assault her and antagonize her and have her sent to the hospital. No matter how much it took. They had to scare the living shit out of that little girl. Eli Friend is another one of the witnesses to that situation. He's also a convicted rapist here in Tillamookkk. Y'all fucked with the wrong guy. Yes, I'm fucking scared all the goddamn time. But when I get a little bit of peace and goddamn quiet, I can do some fucking wonders. When I got a room to sit in peace and fucking quiet, I can pull some fucking magic with my organizational skills. But I cannot do this from living in these conditions as an autistic person. It's not fucking possible. And it's not the autism that makes it impossible. It's the PTSD and the sensory overload and the constantly looking over my shoulder for another fucking racist, another fucking pedophile, or another bad fucking cop. Tillamookkk, you done fuck Ed up. So did Hood River. So did the Dalles. You motherfuckers got a racket going on, same as everywhere else in the United States. It's about money. Fuck the human beings that you're supposed to be helping, right? Oh, hell no, you can't do that. No, you gotta be a rubber stamp for the KKK, like Douglas Pollock and Bob Richards of Dual County. Daniel Larson, NYC 13 typed, why do so many people call you Lenny? LOL. Well, Daniel Larson, have you ever seen the movie of Mice and Men? And I get to tend the rabbits. Lenny is, how do you put this in modern terms that won't offend fucking dipshits? John Malkovich. Daniel Larson, NYC 13, typed in school. I didn't get to see it in school. We weren't allowed. It was considered too violent, but a lot of other kids did. I did read the book on my own, though. And it might have been required reading in one of the schools I went to, but by then I'd already read it. You know what's funny? I also bought a copy of Catcher in the Rye. A lot of people are like, you know how many serial killers bought a copy of Catcher in the Rye? I'm like, if that'll get me red fucking flagged, I'll buy a copy. Whatever it takes to get these goddamn cops to fucking look. Why is human trafficking so rampant in the United States? Because the police won't listen to the people who know best. The street people, the most likely victims. When somebody is victimized into homelessness, you just tell them, oh, go get a job. Oh, you could work. You could get a job if you wanted to. You're just lazy. Daniel Larson, NYC 13, typed in school. I have. So, he typed, my uncle got called Lenny a lot. So, do you need to ask why so many people call me Lenny? I get talked to like I'm mentally retarded. Talked down to like I'm mentally retarded. Instead of being heard. And because of that, I get to see loved one after loved one after loved one go into the ground from a distance. I can't even see them. I can't even tell them that I love them. Because they didn't want to hear it. Daniel Larson, NYC 13. Please help me to turn this in so I don't have to do this on the internet anymore. Please help me get it started. Please make calls with me. If you could spend a day making calls with me and explaining that I'm telling the truth, that I've been posting this up for years. Explain it to these different places with me, that I have tried, I have recorded it, I have shown the truth, and I have only broken the law out of desperation when people's lives are at stake. Because I was not heard, Rand Ingersoll's dead. Because I was not heard, Natalie Bollinger is dead. Do you not get that? And over time, being forced into homelessness, evidence gets lost, stolen, and destroyed. People's memories don't recall the situation quite as well as it used to be. Maybe you have an argument, and all of a sudden they're going to selectively remember it differently. Well, here's the thing. I've got almost 100 people that I know in real life selectively remembering it differently. After I've already posted up the reality of the situation when it happened. Who stuck up for Nicole Knudson's brother Dakota? You fucking ain't right, I did. Yeah, see, here's the thing that goes along with the calling someone an N-word lover or calling them the N-word. There's also the telling people that they're gay, telling people they're into little boys, the rampant harassment by their friends and family, and you have to look over your shoulder because you don't know which one of them is going to do what. When Cody, let me tell you about this guy. Chris Kurth's got a brother named Cody. When the cops, the Klan cops in Chappell, Nebraska broke the law repeatedly to help Christopher Kurth and Clint Snell and Carl Snell get away. By the way, I'm not trying to turn in Carl Snell. He made his amends. He made his dues. He absolutely did. He even spoke up against his own brother and against the Dual County Sheriff's Department on my channel. Verifiable. And I told him I didn't expect him to give me the names of all of those people, that I wanted to get them from Chris Kurth. Daniel Larson, NYC 13 typed, I get accused of being into little boys. Well, Daniel Larson, you probably told somebody no. You ever tell an abusive woman that your relationship is over? Do you have maybe not the best features aesthetically? Do you have Asperger's or Tourette syndrome? These are all things that get you treated like that. Did you tell on a woman who is predatory towards you? Daniel Larson, NYC 13 typed, I told a gay meth head no, and he spread those lies about me. Yep, that does happen. I got a question. If somebody was talking, you've heard me in my videos when I'm scared, right? Now imagine I'm doing this while I'm doing that, right? Because I can't control it because I'm even more scared because the cops are there. And my bullies are allowed to still be there to intimidate me, which happened a lot. Doing that with my eyes. Do this wrist thing like this. Sometimes I pull them in close. When I'm having a really bad panic attack and I can't talk on the phone, I keep them in close like this, and I rock back and forth in my car, and I make noises like somebody punched me in the stomach and knocked the air out of me. And it's stimming, and people don't like it. They're scared by it. Just like they're scared when I wink at them or when I do this with my wrists. Or when I talk fast because I'm in a state of crisis and I'm scared. And then, of course, I ain't got no teeth because I didn't have the money for any dentist, anything before the Obamacare thing. And then I was supposed to see a dentist after Natalie was killed, but I didn't get to complete going through all those because I had to jump through all those hoops with my disability money. I couldn't go to the appointments. I had to stick to the bare necessities, which is jumping around to 11 different places just for the Boulder Police Department because they had assaulted me. Officer Waylon Lolatai. Alright, I'm going to tell you, Daniel Larson, NYC13, I'm going to need you to stop talking at me. I should have probably made this video so that people can't text me, because it really is hard for me to stay focused and not have the train derailed, and it ends up being hanging out with somebody who's not going to help me. Obviously, you're not going to make these calls with me. You're not going to try to make these calls with me. So I need to not spend my time, or rather waste my time, not trying to be rude, with somebody who's going to go off on this Lenny thing and ask a whole bunch of questions, when right now I'm trying to focus on the Ku Klux Klan. St. Albans is one of the places they hold Klan meetings here in Tillamookkk. Where do they hold them? In Chappell, Nebraska. Oh, don't retract your messages. That makes me not trust you. Be true to your words. If you type them up there, leave them up there. And thank you, Daniel Larson. I keep my words up here, even if they're wrong. I've made mistakes, and I leave my mistakes up here. That way I can learn from them, and so can you. But you also need to be able to learn from your mistakes, and other people need to learn from your mistakes. Once you understand the mistake, a lot of people don't do it on purpose. Every mandated reporter, however, does it on purpose. Every police officer who does it on purpose. Every state worker who changes the subject knows exactly what they're doing. They're trying to confuse the situation by talking in circles and changing the subject and insinuating or inferring that the victim should have done something different, or that they hadn't done something. Inferring that it's the victim's fault, that they must have somehow asked for it. And for me, I got a bad habit. I was grown up as a man. I was taught to take fucking responsibility for my shit. I fucking take responsibility for my shit. I've broken law after law after law in order to force a fucking court date. Because people aren't true to their words. Kayla Trujillo wasn't true to her words. Of course, she got her drugs from Blaine McCrelius. Blaine McCrelius got his drugs from the Bollinger boys, I should say. Ted Bollinger and his brother Troy. Here in Tillamookkk, we got some major issues. These people ain't true to their word. They're afraid. Never trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. And when they try to put every fucking roadblock they can in front of you, telling you you can't record, that nobody can investigate, the worst one. It's not the Colorado State Patrol's job to police the police. It's not the Nebraska State Patrol's job to police the police. It's not the Oregon State Patrol's job to police the police. Colorado State Police told me I had to go to those jurisdictions and try to turn my gang rapists into my gang rapists. I had to turn in bad cops to literally those bad cops The same bad cops that I had observed committing crime after crime after crime against the homeless with no way to record it, so nobody would listen to me. And crime after crime after crime, the police got away with by making it their word versus the victim, by calling the victim mentally ill, and by arresting the other victims and the other witnesses so that they can't testify. My friends who promised to help me, every one of them in January, got a hold of me to let me know that people were threatening their friends and family or that they were afraid for their families. I tried to explain to my friends and family they needed to be afraid of the police. Candace Bondurant did not take that seriously. When she was thinking about people coming to her door, when she wanted to have this fantasy scenario of Ted Biker and his biker gang coming up to the door and kicking in the door, and she was going to have her 45 ready and loaded already, and she was going to put one between their eyes. This is the fucking fantasy story she wanted to tell me. In reality, it's going to be the police coming and fucking harassing you for helping the victim, for not letting them do their easy railroad bullshit. When I was being abused in Colorado, I went to the police in Colorado. When I was abused in Nebraska, I went to the police in Nebraska. When I was abused in California, there wasn't no sense. It's fucking California, dude. Have you guys, any of you ever been to Skid Row? I had people coming up to me and telling me they chopped up a child molester and stuffed him down the storm drain. So, yeah, it's not safe to be a chimo in a homeless community, especially not Skid Row. So my recommendation is don't touch kids. The problem is a lot of women want to use that as one of the 3 lies. They want to make you a target for death. It's attempted manslaughter, for Christ's sake. And that's not a joke, that's by law, that's federal law. You bully somebody into committing suicide, yeah, that's manslaughter. You slander somebody's name so that other people hurt them until they commit suicide, it's manslaughter. If you tell somebody to kill themselves and then they do, that's manslaughter. Kayla Trujillo told me how to kill myself. Sent me a PDF on how to do it with helium. And guess what? I tried. Dual County Sheriff's Department, the Klan, Stuttering Stanley himself, Officer Cody Selhorst, came out to Chappell Lake. Somebody called him and told him I was trying to kill myself at Chappell Lake. I had the mask on my face and I looked back at him. He saw that I actually was. He didn't try talking to me. No, he drove around to the other side of the lake and watched from a distance. Just sat there. It didn't work. It was a hot day and I had to hold the nozzle down. I didn't realize that there's a lot of air actually in a helium tank like that. When it didn't work, I got out and I called Brandon Jeffson. And I told him about the situation. And you know what? He said, "You're a liar. If you were going to kill yourself, you would have done so by now." Like literally right after I'd made an attempt. So when I was driving back into town, that's when Cody Selhorst pulled in front of me so I couldn't leave. When he realized I wasn't going to fucking die, He wanted to take me in on suicide watch. Instead, we went down to the Dual County Sheriff's Department, and I told him about Cody Chris Kurth. Oh, here we go. You see this guy here? He keeps making this racist thing and typing that over and over and over again. Hide user on this channel. You see that Daniel Larson NYC 13? In real life, I can't just take a screenshot and hide user from this channel. Thank goodness I can do it here. Nate Higgers was hidden by Sean Schwartz, is what it says. Down at the bottom of my screen. I acknowledge that racism is alive and well today. In small towns where people fuck their kids more than anywhere else. Where people beat their kids more than anywhere else. Where parents murder their own children more than anywhere else. Small towns. Per capita, you're also more likely to get killed in a small town. You're more likely to be murdered in a small town than in the city. Rural areas, homie. Most disgusting parts of the planet. You ever wonder why the Bible Belt and Tornado Alley are the same place? Sickos that think it's okay to touch their own kids. They believe that at the end of their life that they get to say, oh, Jesus, forgive me all my sins, and magically it's all forgiven. No, you didn't repent. You kept on doing it. You used the Jesus as an excuse to hide behind. All these people who want to say, oh, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. Say that in federal court, motherfucker. Y'all are a bunch of dumb son of a bitches. You know what else? I'm going to post up the, my actual diagnoses from the only person who has seen me long enough to diagnose me as schizophrenic, and she didn't. Marcia Estrada. You can take me to all the rubber stamps you want, decoste. When I got to see my own, take a look. Between a professional's diagnosis and yours, you fucked up, son. You coward. Scott DeCosta. I'm in Tillamookkk, Oregon.